It's Friday again, it means another episode of Shaman King is out and we must talk about it, and the stage is set for the Shaman fight to take place, so let's talk about Shaman King episode 5, Oversoul. Ryu has now awakened his shaman ability, and Yo is confronted by a member of the shaman fight committee to see if he's worthy to step into the shaman fight. But before I dive into my review, I want to know what you guys been thinking about Shaman King, whether you've been enjoying it, whether you've been hating it. All opinions are valid. Start the conversation down below, and while you're down there, if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button. It does wonders to get my content out there, and you'll always be aware of whenever I upload a new Shaman King or just anime review, movie review, trailer reactions, all sorts of great geeky stuff. So a little house cleaning. Even though I have been loving this show thus far, I'm loving the animation, I'm loving the characters, I'm loving the little dimensions and the little buildings of the lore and into the direction that the story will eventually go into. Last week's episode was kind of the low point. I didn't hate it, I don't think it's a bad episode per se, it's just compared to the others, I felt there was a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of relationships that were just missing when it comes to the necessary drama that they wanted to generate in that. But this week we're back on track. This week is very much a one event episode. Silva comes into the picture because he's starting to test fighters for the shaman fight and see who is worthy and who is not, and he confronts Yo about his use of the shaman abilities that he has at his disposal. And I love Silva, I love his looks, I love that he has 5 spirits, he has parts of their bodies throughout his own body, he uses them so creatively. I really like this character, and I really like the fight that ensues with Yo and how Silva truly tests him to unleash his Oversoul, and Yo himself to be creative with the use of his abilities and of his bond with Amidamaru. And this is really a small thing, it's a little detail that kind of makes no difference in the episode itself, but I just really love that the fight was actually set in the cemetery that Yo likes to relax at. It's his place of comfort, and I like the dynamic that emerges when he's being tested in that place. To me, it was just kind of gratifying for absolutely no reason that the story gives to us, up until this point at least, but I just really liked it. I found it to be a more interesting location that has a connection to our character, and so in that way it kind of worked for me. Another thing that I really liked was that during the fight we kept cutting back to Manta and Anna at home, and Manta was worried about Yo, if he could win, if he was worthy to be the Shaman King, what if he doesn't want to become the Shaman King? And Anna kind of dives into why she loves Yo in the first place, but also why he is the worthy candidate to become the Shaman King, because he just wants a peaceful life. He doesn't want to be the Shaman King, to rule over everyone, he doesn't seek the power, and so even after becoming Shaman King, if he does, he will still have that goal, he will still thrive and fight for a peaceful life, not only for himself, but for everyone, because he is Yo Asakura. He's just the greatest dude around, who doesn't bother anyone and doesn't want anyone to bother him. I wish more people were like that, just mind your own business. Which granted, it wouldn't be a very interesting show if it was just people minding their own business and not bothering anyone, but I like kind of to imagine that as the ultimate goal for the show and the characters after everything is said and done. My favorite bit of this episode, and yeah, I'm biased, I grew up watching the original anime back in the day, but they crack in the original theme. When Yo integrates Hamidamaru with Harusame and unleashes a new technique, a new use of his shamanic abilities, I love how the song comes in and how that just ends the fight and he defeats Silva. He's able to land the one blow he needed to land and he wins. He gets in, he's in the shaman fight, he receives his oracle bell, which by the way I still want one of those things, I never got the ones from the original anime. I don't know if they made them in real life, but not back in my country, so I still want them. If anyone has a link to an Oracle Bell, I want one. I'm also really loving how they're ending the episodes now, like no outro, no ending theme, just the credits rolling as the story keeps on going, as the characters are still talking, and Silva explains to Yo how now he will know when to go, where to go to some place, and the shaman fight will start, and he will test his abilities to see if he's worthy to make it to Patch Village and become one with the Great Spirit himself. And so for this week we say goodbye to Silva, but there's yet one more scene that just shows us the difference between Yo and Ren, my favorite character. No bias, obviously, we don't share the same name whatsoever, but we cut to Ren and he has just killed the member of the committee that just went to test him, and he took the Oracle Bell by force, which, holy crap. Not to mention we have a moment at the beginning that seems to allude to June maybe entering the shaman fight, which I think it's pretty cool. I really want to see that. Now maybe it won't happen, but I kind of want to see it now, give it to me. So this week's Shaman King is very solid, very consistent, it moves the story forward, it gives great character moments, and again, it ends up showing us the dichotomy between these two characters that we know will clash, and I really want to see that clash for sure. And also, you know, as a fan of the original anime and of the opening theme of that, it's really cool to see the theme Oversoul come in when Yo uses Oversoul, which I hope they keep bringing that back over and over. But now, throwing it over to you, those are my thoughts on this week's Shaman King, but I want to know what you think. Did you enjoy listening to the original opening theme from the previous version of the anime? Did you like this little fight, this little test of Silva and Yo? Let me know all of that in the comments below. What are you looking forward to seeing next week, because Hiroyuki is finally coming in. I love that dude, so I cannot wait to see him. But thank you so much for joining me once again for these weekly Shaman King reviews. My review for the finale of Invincible is up as well. I hope to see you in that, and I'll be back very soon with more reviews. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.